Oh, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Sometimes it
Morning.
springs on us. It's like,
I know,
you are
but
live.
every time we're smiling though, every time, but it's not usually, it's literally always because we laugh about something before we hit that button. I was wiping a tear again, but I'm also yawning a lot, so maybe
Well, happy
anyways.
Monday, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're tuning in from. My name
Mm.
is Jennifer, and my beautiful co host Charlene is here with me today. And today, our topic is um, breaking the chains of anxiety and building a bridge to wellness. And I'm sure that at some point in everyone's life, they've felt anxiety or fear or
Mhm.
all of the things that come into that anxiety realm, depression, all of that sort of stuff kind of fits into that little bubble, that little circle there. So we're going to kind of
Yeah.
just chat about that today. And of course, if you're new here, I'm been in this business for almost 6 years. I am a mom we have a big blended family, two adult children, a school age son that I homeschool. We have four beautiful grandbabies, and I'm a homesteading wife and a child of God. So that is my story. I'll let Charlene tell you a little bit about her, and we'll get underway.
I wanna be a homesteader. I love what you do. If you guys don't follow her, you need to follow her. She has, like, a really nice garden. She has some wonderful tips. I need a
Well,
garden.
the garden is compliments to my husband. I'm not going to lie. I
Oh,
have to give him the credit and our son.
I so I need a new husband. Is that what yeah, no, I'm just kidding, honey, if you're watching.
I'm sorry, he doesn't have any
Uh,
brothers.
right? Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene. I'm a wife. I was until this conversation. I am a mom to 6 amazing kids, and I also have a bonus daughter, my husband's oldest. They range from 20, actually, her birthday's tomorrow, so she's gonna be 27 down to 3 years old. And I'm super excited to be here. Um, I homeschool as well. We have 4 that are school age or getting to school age, and I earn and learn from home, and my life has never been more wholesome and full. So I'm really excited to share with you guys today how that has actually helped with my anxiety. And yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell. i'm
Yeah.
i'm everywhere and anywhere all at one time.
Yeah. And I just love that, over the past few years that um, the world has kind of done a big shift, and it's been able
Mm.
to help us to, kind of reflect. And for us personally in our home and in our family, it's helped us to like take us back to like our roots,
Mhm.
and really, see things in a different way and a bigger picture and spend more time with our family. And that's why I homeschool my son. I mean, my daughter, she went to public school, she graduated through the public school system, and our son was also too, in the school system until the world shut down and we were all forced to go home. And being able to work from home and then homeschool, so learning and to home earning, and incorporating it all, it really helped with all of that anxiety when it felt like the world was crashing in. I felt like I had some sort of control of my life at that point, rather than so many feeling like they didn't know what to do, they were at a loss. And I
Yeah.
can only imagine how that felt crippling for so many, and how that anxiety and worry and fear was in their life. So for myself, I was blessed at that point, but I have been at that point in my life where I have been crippled by the anxiety and the fear and the struggle, the worry.
Yeah. I I never had, well, I don't, when I look back, I don't know if I had anxiety when I was younger. Oh, here comes my children. I don't know if I had anxiety when I was younger. But I know that as I got older, for some reason, I started developing it. And actually, I think I did because I would get chest pains. One moment. Sorry, guys.
And this is the beauty of working online and from home. Our families are right
Right?
beside us all the time.
Downstairs, honey. They want a popsicle. Go ask Colby to open it, please. So I used to get chest pains. So actually, I would probably attribute that to my anxiety. But it wasn't that bad when I was younger,
Mhm,
just the odd. But as I got older, as I got more into, instead of just being like a cashier, for instance, but being an assistant manager or a manager, and having a lot more responsibility, being away from my kids more,
mhm.
and just kind of carrying more of a weight, it actually got worse. And there was a few times where I ended up in the hospital with like panic attacks and anxiety attacks that were so bad I couldn't breathe, and the
Yep,
pain in my chest was severe, and I
yep,
thought I was dying at one point and having a heart attack. Um,
mhm,
so
yep,
um, it's a real thing, and it's a scary thing, and I'm super grateful
mhm,
to be earning and learning from home, because if I wasn't, I couldn't imagine. I haven't had anything as severe as that since I
mhm.
was given this opportunity, and I was able to walk away from everything in my life weighing me down, right?
Yep,
Since I was given that option.
yep. And for myself personally too, I've had some trauma in my life where there's been some PTSD that I've been working through. And even I've noticed with it with my son as well, there's certain things too where it's like a trigger for him, and it's because of the traumatic event that we had in our life. And so there was a bit of that separation anxiety and stuff like that, and going into a new situation and stuff like that, that unfamiliar territory where it makes us feel a certain way. But learning the techniques on how to manage that, um, and work through it has been a huge part of our journey over the past few years. And so this topic today is really, really passionate to me because, I've seen the shift not only in myself, but also in my son and my husband and within our family unit. And we can all lean on each other to be able to help and grow, and then also be able to share what's working for us with other people, because you never know. I mean, we had to find the resources ourselves,
Yeah,
to be able to manage and work through that. So yeah, I love this.
absolutely. And it's different for everyone, right?
Mhm.
What gives me anxiety, or how I and my body react to anxiety, is way different than, how you handle anxiety and how
Yeah,
your body reacts. So I think it's a really good topic because it's a very generalized topic, but at the same time, um, it's a very personal topic.
yeah, yeah. I
And
agree.
yeah, so I don't know. Anxiety is just, I still get it very often. Um, but now, instead of a whole bunch of chest pain and where I can't breathe and I'm dying,
Mhm,
um, I get a lot of pressure in my chest, but I know what to look for now as well. I know the
mhm.
signs of how my body starts to react to things, and I know um, when I need to walk away, when I need to
Yeah,
step away, when I need to breathe, when I need to turn on the music and dance it out, like whatever I got to do, I know that
yeah,
I know when to look for it, right?
yeah, exactly. That's
And
something. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I totally, totally agree with, we've been learning these tools, especially in our
Yeah,
business, because we talk about these things all the time, and your mindset and your positive vibration and all this stuff.
mhm,
Um, and it has that trickle effect on the kids and on our family unit as well, and everyone around us. So
yeah.
it's a pretty incredible thing.
I agree. And like for me personally, and within our home and stuff like that, we try not to label things. That was a
Mhm.
huge part of my journey for a really long time because I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was 26. And for a really long time, and even people around me would be like, "Oh, your arthritis." I'm like, "It's
Yeah.
not mine. I have
Mhm.
this and I deal with it, but it is not mine."
It doesn't
So
define you.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So when I stopped labeling it, saying my anxiety, my arthritis, my this, my that, and I started just using it as a general term for what it is or was, and then had that mindset shift, then things started to ease a bit. So that
Yeah.
was the first thing, was to take that label off and not have that attachment of the mine, right?
Yeah.
So that was the first
Yeah.
piece.
And, it's okay to have anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay to not be okay. And we live in a world where it's finally becoming okay to not be okay. It's okay to take a day or take a moment.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think that's also a first step to acknowledging like it's okay.
Yeah. And the acknowledgement part of it is huge too, right? When we're in denial, how can you ever work to fixing anything or work to healing when you're in that denial phase of, well, this isn't what I'm going through. I don't know why I'm going through this, but X, Y, and Z, there's so many different scenarios to that. But
Yeah.
acknowledgement is huge.
Yeah. Well, because, the longer you let things sit, the longer you let it fester, the worse it's going to get.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
and it's so hard to keep everything so pent up. It's not good for your physical health, it's not good for your mental health. It's not a good thing. So if you can
Mhm.
find any form of positive release for this to
Yeah.
help, highly recommend. Even if you go to one of those break rooms, like we don't have one in GP, but if you go to one of those rooms where you can just smash things, I've always wanted to
Yeah.
do that.
Well, you
That'd
could
be fun.
literally do that in your backyard. I'm sure there's probably something in our home that we're just like,
Yeah, good.
you know.
Yeah. I'm currently renoing, so we know why.
There was actually a day, I'm going to
Uh,
tell this little story. There was a day that we were coming home and we were bringing the groceries out of the car. And for a really long time, my hands, because of the arthritis, my hands just hurt. Like literally
mhm.
the air just blowing, just being on my hand would hurt me. And one day, I remember my husband grabbed the grocery bag out of my hand and it just grazed his hand, just grazed my hand. And I just let out this like death curdling scream at the top of my lungs outside. And he looks at me and he's like, "You feel better now?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. Thank you." And we carried on. But sometimes you just need to let it out,
Yeah,
whatever it is, right?
yeah,
Whatever that pent up, and it wasn't him that I was mad at or frustrated at. It was the fact that
mhm.
like literally it was hurting me. And but it wasn't him that was hurting me. It was just the situation, like, that was happening. And I had enough, and the top, it's like, when the kettle's ready and it's squealing.
Yeah,
That's how I
there you
felt.
go.
I was
Get
boiling and I
you
was
some
ready to
whiskey.
boil over. And I mean, it was a huge release. It felt so good,
Mhm.
and just finding little ways to let that release happen, right? And
Yeah,
yeah, when you find those little things, um, it's really a huge shift. I spent hours and hours and hours with my psychologist over the years, just dealing with things that were like, and working to find out what was triggering me for the anxiety and the
yeah,
worry and the fear. And then shifting into like meditation and prayer. And then realizing that, you know, what's going on is not for me to carry, and release it. You know,
yeah.
I can I
It's
can have
hard.
it for a moment, walk
Yeah.
through it, and then release it.
I find that we get so stuck on the things that we cannot control.
Mhm.
And I think that's a really hard
Yeah,
lesson to learn. Is
it is.
you can't control everything, right? That's where things have gone wrong in our lives. Oh man, have they gone wrong? And they've put us in some really sticky situations.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful for them because they've helped me learn how to manage the hard things, right?
Exactly.
And I now have, and I mean, it's a lot of things. It's talking to friends and people and da da
Mhm.
da. Like a lot of things have played into my mindset and
Yeah,
my shift in thinking, um, to learn that I can't control everything and I have to let some things go.
yeah. That
Yeah,
is
because you just,
I have to
yeah.
agree with you on that, the control factor of
Mhm.
same thing. When I did that shift and I realized that I wasn't in control, the man
Wasted so
upstairs
much
is in
time.
control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not me. I'm just doing the actions,
Mhm.
but he's in control. So if I give it to him and allow that breath of fresh air to come in and realize I am okay, then you know what I mean? It's like when you clear your space, the space around you clears, and then your
Yeah.
household is like, you know, brighter and lighter, and the people around you are brighter and lighter because you're allowing then that energy to come back to you. You know,
Mhm.
when you separate yourself from the people that, you know, are bringing in all that noise, you know, the noise lessens.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
then
it
the
really
other
does.
stuff lessens.
Yeah, you don't need noise canceling headphones. You
No.
yeah, you can't control other people. You can't control what they say. You can't control other situations, but you can control your part in that situation and in that conversation. It's as simple as walking away.
Mhm.
And that was a really big lesson for me. Same thing with, it goes back to setting those boundaries. Like everything we talk about relates to another topic that we've discussed. Everything,
Exactly. Exactly.
because it's all entangled in some way or another. There's this, it's just all, yeah, it's just a big clump of "Bleh." And
Sometimes, yeah.
yeah. But you really do. You have the control to set the boundaries with family, friends, acquaintances, loved ones, situations. When it's important enough, I try to keep an eye on the news and I try to pay attention to what's important. But if it doesn't necessarily pertain to me, or if it's something that is really going to bog me down and I just can't
Mhm.
handle it, I don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm learning that it's okay to say no. That's a hard one because,
Yeah.
I have 100 kids, as mentioned at the beginning of this, and many times. And volunteering is huge for me and for the kids and their activities, and always trying to be there for their activities.
Yeah.
It's okay to say no.
It's
Like,
also okay to delegate to other
yeah,
people. You know,
you
it's
can't
okay
do it
to
all.
like, yeah, exactly. You know, we especially as women, you know, men play a huge role in that too, but their like workload or their, you
Mhm.
know, idea of like carrying it all the weight on their shoulders looks different than women, but we feel the same
Yeah,
way too with the workload or carrying all the weight on our shoulders. But it's okay to delegate to other people.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh
You
man.
know, and Charlene's a prime example for that because her household, no, but from an outsider looking in, you have multiple children in your home at all different age ranges, but they're all there to help each other and to help you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And I find it's a beautiful thing because you don't see that in many families where, you know, everybody's kind of doing their own thing, right?
yeah,
But when
yeah.
I
When
look
push
at your
comes to
family
shove.
unit, everybody's there, and you know, I when we met up this week at or last week at an event, and you know, I watched your daughter just playing with the little one, you know, and then your son was over playing, you know, with the other kids and stuff like that. It's not, and you didn't feel like you had to be there with all three of them at the exact same time, right?
Yeah,
It gave you
yeah,
some of that freedom, that flexibility to mingle with some of the other moms and stuff like that. So, from an outsider looking in, sometimes it looks different than us looking out.
yeah. Right? For me, it looks like complete and total chaos all the time.
Yeah, but it's
But
not.
you
It's
you
not.
see it as organized chaos, so that's a win.
But then also for me, my life looks
Uh,
completely different because, you know, my children were spaced out almost 17 years, 16, 17 years apart. So I raised one family, and then I'm raising another family in a sense.
Yeah.
So yes, I have children, but they're at two completely different age ranges. And now I have a grandson that's almost the same age, as Charlene's
Yeah.
youngest. And so it's that intertwining, like we said, of, you know, the family dynamic and everything that it brings to our lives in general, whether that's chaos, anxiety, stress, worry, love, joy, happiness, all of it.
Yeah. I know.
Because we
Speaking
can
of like
feel it's like living where we live, where we experience all four seasons in one day. We
in
can
a
feel
day,
all the feelings in one day too. It's okay.
right?
We know we're
Should put
not
that
going to
on
be
a
stuck there.
uh that was like oh, excuse me, sorry. My days are very early right now. We have like Elizabeth is in cadets. She's an air cadet. She's super proud of this and she's super passionate. And here's the other side of anxiety, right? When you're really passionate and you're super dedicated and committed to the
Yeah.
point that when things don't go right or when things get hard
Yeah.
and you don't want to give up, but you're exhausted and you're tired and you're crying in your room. That was her the other day. And I felt so awful when I went down and,
Mhm.
but I'm really grateful that because of my anxiety and being in the position that I've been in, I was actually able to help her and help guide her through her anxiety.
Yeah.
She was trying to sew on some patches and she was just having the hardest time. She couldn't get it done. They were slanted or they just weren't in the right place and they didn't space out enough. And she had done it like 5 times and like just stop and breathe, right?
Mhm.
First, breathe. And then I think a really, really big thing that I am still trying to teach my kids is that, and I think a lot of people need to hear this, it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah. 100%. I agree.
Don't struggle in silence
Mhm.
because there's always going to be somebody who is out there willing to sit down and hold your hand or walk you through or whatever you need, there is somebody that wants to be that person for you. And the other night at 1 o'clock in the morning, I was that person for Elizabeth. And I think that's the hardest thing is just watching people struggle in silence
Yeah.
and knowing, not necessarily knowing at the time, but knowing that they have struggled in silence for so
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
and they didn't reach out for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Elizabeth told me the other day, "Well, Mom, you were really busy and I know you had a big presentation. And so I was trying not to bother you. But you know what? At
Yeah.
the end of the day, your well being and your health is way more important than any presentation that I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah.
Ask for help."
And I feel that as you're speaking, it's making me like emotional because I have been on that side where I was
Hmm.
so independent for so long. And then when I started having the deformities and the limiting mobility within my hands, I struggled for a really, really long time and actually had very dark thoughts and stuff like that. Like my children were my saving grace because when my husband went to work, if my children weren't there, I don't know if I'd still be here right now because so much was being stripped away from me. And it was the hardest thing for me to ask for help because from going one day and being able to do it all to the next day where you literally could barely do nothing, I couldn't even, like I couldn't comb my hair, I couldn't do up my pants, all of these things. And then until I learned how to manage and go forward in life with what God had given me to then persevere through and be able to help someone else to know that it's okay not to live in that struggle, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
huge. So,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think, we talk about acknowledgement and da da da
mhm,
being a hard step, but I think the hardest step is reaching out for help because
yeah,
everybody, I mean, for me, same thing. I've been on that side. I did
mhm,
it all. Like, and that's hard. It's
It
really
is.
hard. And it sends you down a rabbit hole that's even harder to get out of.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the hardest thing is asking for help because for me, I always felt like I was a burden.
Yeah.
Or, like Elizabeth the other day when she was like, Mom, you were so busy. Well,
Yeah.
I always think you're busy. Jennifer's busy. She doesn't want to hear my. So that's why we have little gab sessions before we do these go lives because we know
But
we're
we
both
come on
available.
laughing and big smiles every
But
time.
yeah, but I mean, oh man, just find your people, find your village. We've talked about that, building your network. It's so
Mhm.
important to have support. Whether you're a man, a woman, a child, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter the age, race, ethnicity,
Yeah.
whatever you are,
Yeah.
your lifestyle, you need a village.
I agree.
Especially as I mean, life is not easy right now for a lot of people,
Yeah.
and it's not looking like it's going to get a lot easier anytime soon. And now it's
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just reach out and
Yeah.
really, really find a way to move forward.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I really love about this community that we're a part of
Mhm.
is yes, we're independent business owners. Yes, we're building a business for ourselves and our families to leave a legacy behind for them and stuff like that. But we're not just here focused on our business. Our hearts are really with the people that are following us and that come into our life because they came on to our page and a part of our journey for a reason, whether it's
Mhm.
business orientated or whether it's just that friendship. It doesn't
Yep.
matter. We're here for it all because we were too at a place that you might be right now at one point in our journey, and we found our people. And if we're your people, just reach out to us. You know,
Yeah.
that's really what we're here for.
Yeah. I love that. I have a lot of, and I'm sure you can attest to this, I have a lot of followers on our page that reach out and just send, "Hey, I didn't see you
Yeah.
post today. Everything okay?" Or if, the other day I was like, "It has been a crazy week and I'm super overwhelmed," and I'm super honest about when I can't take anymore. My family knows it, friends know it. I just completely go silent, and when they
Mhm.
message, I'm like Jennifer the other day, I was like, "I'm so sorry. I can't do this right now,
Yeah.
but I'll get back to you when I can." It's really beautiful to know that when we put posts like that on our page, that somebody out there is
Yeah.
inspired or feels a little bit better or
Yeah.
resonates with it. And then when they resonate with it and they feel like their feelings are validated,
Yeah.
that I couldn't ask for. You know what? If I didn't make a penny in this business, if I didn't have this entire foundation behind me, community, whatever, I would be okay with just that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But that is the icing on the cake because we have the
Yeah.
community, the village,
Yeah.
we're earning from home, we're learning from home. There is so much more behind the scenes.
Yeah.
This is just truly for me the icing on the cake and the best part.
Yeah.
It
And
seems
we're
like
real.
really. Oh, go ahead.
No, but I was going to say, like, we're real people just like you,
Yeah.
and we've had real struggles just like you. And we wanted more. We wanted something different. Not to say better, but we wanted something
Mm.
different because we were tired of being on that hamster wheel going and going and going and going, but nothing
Mhm.
was changing. We had to do something to make the change happen.
Mhm. So when I started this opportunity, when I joined our online community, started my side, my own little
Yeah.
side hustle, I was really in it because, like you said, we wanted more, we needed more. But my biggest pull when I first started was I really need money. I
Yeah.
need money so that I can have more time with my kids, so that we can
Yeah.
have food in the fridge, so that they can go to summer camps, we can do activities and road trip and da 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 da. It has just evolved into so much more now that we have our page growing and all of
Mhm.
these new strangers that have become family. And it really, at the end of the day, I just want to help people,
Yeah.
whether it's just a supportive message on Facebook
Yeah.
or reaching out and saying hello and just feeling like, somebody's here for you,
Yeah.
or a check in the mail, it doesn't matter. I
Yeah.
just want to help people. And it's
Yeah.
it's changed me in that regard. I feel always felt like there was something missing in my life, and that was the part that was missing, is I wanted to help people. I wanted to reach people, but I
Mhm.
didn't know how, and this has given me it's filled that in me.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And I was going to say something. I lost my train of thought, but
Choo choo.
it was there, but now it's gone. It's okay. It happens. Oh,
Aw.
I was going to say, so if we would have known where we would be now in our journey when
Mhm.
we very first found this opportunity, oh man.
I
Like
know.
that's all I can say is like, oh man, like
I know.
wow.
I never could have imagined having thousands of people following me on a page. I never could have imagined complete strangers reaching out, asking how my kids are, asking how our, and like things that we post on our page. Oh, how was the event? And how was this? And oh, they were so cute. And oh, and just knowing you, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It's incredible. And like the messages of thank you so much for this and I really needed this, and
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's really
You know,
incredible.
we may work online, but we are by far never alone.
Never. No. That goes yeah, tenfold.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
That includes you guys who follow our page. You're now a
Exactly.
part of our family.
And thank you. We thank you
Yeah.
from, the bottom of our hearts,
Yeah.
our families. Thank you because without you guys, we wouldn't show up every day to keep doing what we're
Mhm.
doing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Aw,
And
this
with
was such
that
a fun
being,
one.
I know, I love it. Well, I love them all, but
My voice was getting a little scratchy there. I was like, "Don't cry."
and my little puppy is sitting here and she's like looking up at me like, "Oh, mom, I love you."
Oh. Oh, there you
I love your
go.
energy, mom.
Positive vibrations. We just had
Either
a
that or
weekly
she has to go
mastermind.
pee.
Oh, she has to be. We just had a weekly mastermind this week talking to us about the law of attraction and your positive vibration that you throw out there. So we're all about the positive vibration this week.
Can you
Uh,
guys feel it?
uh, Smiles and
Um,
happy and cheery and
yeah.
gratefulness and yeah, all that fun stuff. All
Awesome.
right.
Well,
Well,
thank you for joining us today.
mhm.
And if you're catching the replay, hashtag replay, let us know where you're tuning in from because we always love to see where everybody's tuning in from. And just thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. And yeah, we look forward to our next session, our next episode with you. And
Yeah.
yeah, we
We
will
have a
see you
little
soon.
plan. We have a little plan coming for November. We're gonna have a kind of a themed series in November, so
Yeah.
we'll talk more about that next week. But
Yeah.
oh my gosh, next week is the last week of October, Jennifer.
No,
Oh,
today
it's
is the
true.
today is the last week of October.
Oh, I guess yeah.
October
Next week.
30th.
Oh gosh, yeah. Wait a minute. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where I am.
When we were
Oh,
planning our series and we were talking about what we should talk about next week, I'm like, well, for the last week of October, I'm like, oh,
wait a
next
minute.
week is the first week of November. So we're gonna discuss this after,
Yeah,
and
so
that's
we
just
should
what
probably
happens.
get on that. Oh my goodness, we're like out of time.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Well, thank you
Anyways,
for
well,
tuning
you
in
know
with
what?
us today. Happy Monday. Welcome to a
And
new week, and
in
take
and
care.
a new month almost.
Yeah, 2
Have a
days.
good week, guys.
2 days. Bye for now.